Hi guys, welcome to another weekly edition of the Comic Book Syndicate.
Coming to you on this St. Patrick's Day from Hellenic Subs, downtown Windsor.
You can get all kinds of things here, including gyros, french fries, and pop.
Ice cream too for your summer needs. Now to some books.
Hi, can I please have one chicken gyro and one Kaiser salad?
I want some ice cream for my needs.
Okay, first comic this week is X-FactorForever. To sum up really quick, in the early 90s, Chris Claremont and Louise Simonson left the mutant titles. The Forever comics are what if they would have continued writing as if they never left. We already have X-Men Forever, this is X-FactorForever. So me as somebody who, this is one of the first Marvel comics that I collected on a regular basis, so I grew up with these characters who are actually the original X-Men, Cyclops, Jean Grey, etc. And so coming back to this, what, 19 years later?
It was a really good intro. It was a bit of a chore to read this first issue, just like X-Men Forever was, that you have to sit there and they try to catch everybody up. So if you've never read that series that you're talking about, it's a fine point. You can just jump into this and read it. As long as you don't mind doing, like, taking the pill and doing the homework, because it was a lot.
Yeah, and which is something that I had to do, is take the pill and do the homework. I'm sort of familiar with the X-Men family, but I'm at the same time I'm not. So I thought that this would be maybe a good jumping off point, trying to get to know the characters and a little bit of the history, but it's really thick. It's something that you're gonna have to, it took me a while to sit down and kind of read this comic and understand what's going on. To me, I didn't think that the backstory by Louise Simonson, I don't think that it helped, me at least. But I do recommend it for anyone who is trying to get into X-Men. I'm very, very curious.
Well, yeah, I did a lot of things like, you know, like, remember Apocalypse? You're like, well, yeah, didn't really explain them. Kind of briefly mentioned things like that. They did throw in that nice little bit of Sabretooth action for you, kind of keep it going and rolling and stuff like that, so it wasn't just straight. But I got into the artwork too. That took a few minutes, because anytime you see stuff like this, which is nice because it is very much like it was then, people would have coffee with, like, their superhero gloves on, and, like, you know, everybody's in full costume, you know, and I love the scene too in it when, what's his name, Bobby, Iceman?
Yeah.
Takes his shirt off to ice up, but not his pants. Like, that was always the weird part when they gave him these extra powers back then, if I remember correctly. All of a sudden he had pants and shoes. He was naked the entire time before that with this, like, one little underwear line.
Yes.
Like an unreasonable line too. It's just a line. There wasn't a seam or an elastic, it was just a straight line, but now he's wearing pants. But still takes his shirt off.
The artwork I thought was actually really good, because this guy, Dan Panosian, actually was one of the X artists back in the early 90s, and back then he was terrible.
Yeah, he was.
And I think now he's vastly improved. I think the art is incredible. Reading the story for me was a weird nostalgia trip, because, like I said, I grew up with this comic, and so it felt like, you know, coming back home. The good stuff is, unlike most modern decompressed comics, there was a lot of story to read, there was a lot of subplots, there was a lot of characters to follow, and I think that's why the X-Men titles were as popular as they were in the 90s, because even though the dialogue is really expository and you know, overwritten, the characters are alive and unique, and I'm interested enough to want to come back next month just to see what happens to them. So for me, again, as long as you kind of take it with a grain of salt, the writing style is dated, so that might turn off a lot of people, but this was designed for its audience, which was probably a younger readership, which would love it, I think. And anyone who grew up with the comic would love it, and anyone who's tired of decompressed comics that take 5 minutes to get through, I think should pick this up, because I think it is a good read.
I do agree with Mike. I would recommend it if you are looking for something that is a little more than just digestible. This is a very good character book.
Very well-developed characters. I recommend it.
Fade to Black. It's not very good.
No.
Even the title is ridiculous. It's the stars of a film are
preparing for the scene.
Yeah, they're going to shoot the next day, and they're out in the desert walking, and the actors are right in the character. So at the beginning of it, you're getting this weird story, and then it goes right into, oh, you broke character. It's not a compass, it's a rock. Hard to follow the artwork, I thought. It was kind of ridiculous. There's some kind of zombie or vampire thing eating everybody. They don't quite explain what it is.
Well, I mean, It was weird because I thought that maybe they were on the set of a reality TV show or movie, because while they're rehearsing out in the desert, something comes up from the ground that they have to run from, but then it's gone and everything is fine. And then they go to the set and everyone's been eaten, but then we find out it's not by the same sand creature, so I don't even know where that comes into play. And the art is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The writing is not that great either.
The dialogue is passable, but this writer with, again, passable talent has sort of wasted our time with such a rudimentary idea. It's not even worth a 32-page comic. And on top of that, the art is horrendous.
Yeah,
Who's
he's like
imitating Ben Templesmith and doing a horrible job of it. So the story, what is there, is ruined by the art. I can't follow what's going on. I don't know what it's about. I don't know anything. I just know that it's a very cliched concept, and I absolutely do not recommend this comic. Don't buy it.
Our next comic is American Vampire. This is issue number 1. It was fantastic. I loved it. It sort of starts out in 1925 and kind of moves backward in time from there, and it kind of shows us an origin story of one of the main characters.
In 2 interconnected stories, 2 different time periods. One of them written by Stephen King, I should point out.
Yeah.
The art was really good in both of them, I felt. And the writing was really good. I think the only complaint I have is it was actually so dense. It actually, you know, I did have to go back and reread, which is fine. I'm just saying that is something to you know, look out for. I mean, it is a little bit, not confusing.
Well, when you're starting with an issue 1 too,
yeah.
you have to give so much information. There's something like, you know, it's rare that you hit it right on the head where they don't give very much. Mm-hmm. And that really was great as an issue number 1. But sometimes you gotta like just give the reader enough that they're gonna want to come back, right?
Yes.
And I thought this was great. I think opening up with the bodies and stuff like that scene was brilliant. Storytelling wise, the artwork.
And to
great.
me, yeah,
Yes.
they gave me these really great characters that I could work with, and they were like fun, frisky 1920s women who are actors, who are interesting, and you know what? You don't see a lot of that in comics.
No, this is not a run-of-the-mill comic. This is a very well-written, well-put-together, you know, Vertigo.
And again, a sea of vampire books, right? Like,
Yes.
there's a lot of garbage out there.
Yes.
And there's a lot of vampire fans are dying for stuff. So, I mean, if you like anything vampire,
This is a good comic. Pick it up. Okay, that wraps up another edition of the Comic Book Syndicate Weekly. We'd like to thank Border City for providing us with the comics.
thank you everybody for watching again this week, and we'll see you next week.